Social Security has recently passed a new rule that applies to people who suffer from primary headache disorders. The new rule specifically applies to folks with migraines, tension headaches, and cluster headaches. And this new rule specifies that Social Security must consider the effects of your headache symptoms as long as you are able to provide evidence that your headaches are a medically determinable impairment, which is a term of art that the new rule specifies. So this rule explains that Social Security is not just going to take our word that you suffer from these headaches. We need to show more specific evidence than that. But fortunately, they've outlined several different ways that we could prove your case. One way is that you have a diagnosis of a primary headache disorder from a medical professional that Social Security considers to be an acceptable medical source, which is Social Security looking at the letters at the back of your doctor's name. So acceptable medical sources are MDs, DOs, physician's assistants or PAs, and nurse practitioners or NPs. Another way that we could prove that your headaches are a medically determinable impairment is that we could get a detailed description in one of your treatment notes from a physician who has actually witnessed you suffering during an appointment or the after effects of a headache. Social Security will also allow us to submit a headache journal, which is a daily description of how often you suffer from headaches, how long they last, what sort of associated symptoms do you have, light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, nausea. Here at Bailyn Law, we do recommend that our claimants that are arguing disability based on a primary headache disorder do keep such a headache journal. Social Security will also look to any imaging, such as MRIs of your brain or blood work that has been done to rule out other conditions that could be causing your headache disorder. And they'll also look to your response to treatments such as Botox or pain medications or anti-seizure medications. Why is this new rule important? The new rule is important because before it went into effect, Social Security was very inconsistent in how they considered whether a person's headache symptoms would affect their ability to work and in turn be a basis for finding them disabled. This led to confusion and frustration for folks applying for disability, for their doctors, and speaking from personal experience, from their lawyers. So the fact that we have these specific guidelines is great news for folks suffering from primary headache disorders, no doubt about it. That said, when they put these guidelines in place, it introduces new evidentiary hurdles that need to be met. And the presence of those hurdles is exactly why it's in your best interest to contact an experienced Social Security lawyer who is up to date with Social Security's rules and regulations, like we are at Bailyn Law. Thank you for your time and attention.